What's up, you guys? It's your girl, the real Mrs. J. And I woke up with a banging headache. Damn you, pollen. Damn you, pollen. But anyway, you guys, I just wanted to come on here real quick because last night I was reading my book. So I know some of you may know that I did co-author in a book, and the book is called The Power of the V, and my chapter is called The Breaking of Generational Curses. And basically it was just talking about how my life was from the beginning, because a lot of you may know about my parents and what I experienced as a child, growing up without my parents because of domestic violence. And so I'm sorry, y'all, there's a cat in my yard and I got 5 dogs. So as me, growing up with in domestic violence, and I was reading this story last night. Sometimes I go back and I read it because I need that to understand where I come from, why I think the way I think, and just to be a reminder of what the Most High has brought me through. And when I was reading it, and I got to the part of what happened with me and my ex-husband. It actually happened on March the 30th of 2000. And so I decided that, today is my day that I'm going to start dedicating to speaking out against domestic violence. And so what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to read to you all a snippet of what happened to me on that day. All right, so let's go. All right, so on the night of March the 30th, 2000, my life would forever change. I woke up to go to work like normal. I had to be there at 11 p.m. And then, on the night of March the 30th, 2000, my life would forever change. I woke up to go to work like normal, and I had to be there at 11 p.m. when I noticed that he hadn't come home yet. I figured he would be there in time for me to go to work, so I waited, but he still wasn't there by the time I had to leave. I called my job and told them that I was running late. I was watching the time, and as it was now 11:45 p.m., I started walking to my friend's house to see if she could drive me to work. As I walked, I saw him coming around the corner. I immediately turned around and started walking back. When I got to the house, he was already inside. I ran in, snatched my keys, and left. I got to the corner and I said to myself, I'm tired of dealing with this. This has to end. I turned around and went back. I went inside the house and I told him I was done. Our argument started, and then the fight soon followed. Somehow, we ended up in the downstairs bathroom. He started choking me over the sink. I reached over and grabbed a razor that I'd used earlier to arch my eyebrows. I closed my eyes and I started to swing. All I remember next was being on the floor. Not only was I on the floor, but he also had his boot pressing in my chest, holding me down. He was letting the blood that was coming from his hand and wrist drip all over me, in my face, my hair, and all over my chest. Even at that moment, I was still worried about him being hurt. He finally let me up. The blood was spewing out in streams like it does in the movies. I offered to take him to the hospital. We actually got in the car, both of us drenched in blood. Before we could even get to the hospital, we got into another argument and he jumped out of the car. I immediately went back to my job and let them know that I was not coming back, and I used the phone. And to use the phone. I walked in and my coworker started crying when she saw me. I told her what happened and I needed to use the phone. I called my brother and I told him what happened and that I had to come home. He told me to come on. I drove all the way back to my hometown with a half a tank of gas and the clothes on my back. I got to Richmond and my brother opened the door and he looked at me and said, "Is he still alive?" My response was, "I don't know." Later that night, the police knocked on the door and I was arrested on felonious assault. I was transported back to Virginia Beach the next day. I was told that I had no bond, and in order to receive one, I had to see the judge. The next morning came and I was called for a visit. There was a lawyer that was hired by whom? Yes, my ex-husband. I remember just crying when he told me who sent him. It was like I was in the Twilight Zone. Anyway, I was released a week later on bond, and ultimately my charges were null prosecuted because my ex-husband didn't show up in court. You guys, that's just a snippet of what happened to me in that marriage. And that was the end. That was the last straw. That was it. And that happened 23 years ago today. And you guys, I'm sorry. I don't mean to get emotional, but if you are in a relationship or marriage where you are being abused, please seek help. Please seek help. It's not going to get better. Nothing is going to change these people. They are who they are. They're narcissist abusers. And the thing about a narcissist abuser is that they come as the most loving person. They love bomb you real hard. And then the true person comes out. And I just ask, because I know that I have a lot of women as my subscribers, and I just ask that you guys, if you see these signs, please seek help. It's not your fault. It's nothing that you're doing. The person that you're dealing with is just a narcissist abuser. And here it is, 23 years later. I have 2 kids, a husband, and everything. And I'm still crying and still trying to heal from what happened to me all those years ago. But anyway, I love you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, The Real Mrs. J. And I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.